All right. We are live. What's going on, everybody? This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. And today, I saved you guys something really good for Friday. How to contact reporters. As far as value of information goes, this is literally some of the best insider paid client level stuff I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I'm going to be talking about the different ways you can reach a reporter for your pitch, the ways that are effective in communicating with them, how to locate the right ones, and just general guidelines for communication with reporters. So before we get to that, let's get some of the preliminaries out of the way. First of all, happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing something amazing. I have no plans, and I live in San Diego, which sounds crazy. You guys want to get a beer? Hit me up. I am definitely down. I need to get out of my freaking house. I'm losing my mind. And shout out to my friend Kalika, who got me to the gym this morning by 6:30. And we worked on armaments. Yeah, see that? Yeah. And had a great time. It took a lot of coffee. I was not in a good mood this morning. And then we went out to Redford's Diner. Shout out to Redford's Diner. My God, their omelets were incredible and good coffee. So that's always something important, as you mention as many local businesses as you can to promote them when you do lives. Helps them out, maybe attracts them to a sponsorship. Who knows? All right, so that was my day. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. I have been interviewed 255 times. I'm the CEO of Garcia Global Media, and I've gotten 39 clients on TV. I've been doing PR and visibility strategies for about 8 years, and I teach a lot of different stuff, not just TV. I'm a visibility strategist, which means I issue press releases. I own my own magazine, shiftlifedesign.com. Read it for free. And I do media database outreach, which means that no matter what niche you're in, I can find you some media and get you some interviews that is industry specific. So that's me in a nutshell. What's going on, Mina? All right. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Mike'sDamascusKnives.com. Longtime sponsor. Thank you, Mike. If you guys need some legit knives for cooking, industrial, EDC, which stands for everyday carry, or just personal defense, like, hey, get the fuck away from me. Mike's Damascus. Mike sent me a little sampler of some of his quality work, and these are hand-forged, long-lasting, amazing in the kitchen. He has many different styles. He was on Forged in Fire, and he does all his knives custom. He can put your name on the blade. All you have to do is go to Mike'sDamascusKnives.com. It is a spectacular company. Mike works really hard, and I got him on the news, and I got him on like knives.com, where he got a small feature and something else. Like we did a couple of cool things together, but really appreciate what he's doing at Mike's Damascus Knives. He put my Air Force rank on here, and his mom makes these cool leather sheaths so you don't slice your fingers off when you're trying to pull out one of these knives. They are sharp, and they last a long time. Mike also gives a lot of tips for care. These are not your cheap Chinese or Pakistani knockoffs. These are handmade by Mike at his forge in Utah. Check them out, Mike'sDamascusKnives.com. All right. And Mike's on the radio today. Congratulations, Mike. Get the word out, dude. Okay. Reporters. So the first thing you need to think about is the type of reporter you want to reach out to. So let's say you got a company, you're in San Diego, you're in New York, you're in Texas, wherever you're at. You need to understand that not all reporters are the same. And you need to understand that reporters are sometimes assigned to certain niches. This means you do not want to reach out. Let's say if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, you do not want to reach out to the sports reporter. You do not want to reach out to the meteorologist. You do not want to reach out to anybody that is outside what you are doing, your type of story, if that makes sense. It's very tempting because it's low-hanging fruit. If you see somebody, And it's okay to reach out to somebody outside of your niche just to ask for a reco. Say, hey, I've got a story idea. Who would I pitch? It's about this, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, just try and get it right, like right out the gate. Match up with, and here's some general categories. So there's lifestyle reporters, there are business reporters, there are military reporters, there are lifestyle, business, military, political, food. There's all different types, and sometimes they do have a really specific niche that they write stories for. Okay, what's up, that gamer chick? I myself am a gamer. I play Xbox and DayZ. Awesome to have you on here. So right at the gate, make sure that you match the reporter with the niche that you are in. Some reporters will cover real estate exclusively. Some of them will cover animals, events, all kinds of stuff. There are a lot of different types of reporters out there. So just right away, that's my first piece of advice. Make sure that you are reaching out to the correct reporter. The first place I would go, and if you guys are taking notes, if you guys are serious about getting on TV or getting coverage for your business or your endeavor or the book you wrote or your pending divorce, I don't know, maybe your life's sad, who knows? I would start with Twitter, or X as it's known now, the stupidest name ever. I can't even broadcast live to there without a premium subscription, and that shit's not happening. I'm a cheap bitch. X and Twitter are excellent for a couple of reasons, and this is why. You can look up any reporter out there, and they will probably have news tips, message me at ... and they'll have their email right there. That's their inbox. Or about half of them will have messages enabled on their Twitter or X profile, where you can literally click the little envelope, send them a direct message. What's going on, Brandon? Good to see you, buddy. I'm telling you right now, this piece of advice is gold. And this is why. Because having the ability to direct message a reporter or to get their work email, now you can do attachments. Now you can do links. Okay. I've sent many a message on Twitter with a photo of the story or the person in the story that I'm pitching, like a PR client, and old press releases, old news interviews, YouTube interviews, whatever. And you can stack a nice little pitch right there in that first message. Okay. So Twitter or X is the very first place I go to get reporter information. Find their names, look them up, and then, like I said, they're either going to have got a news tip, send them here, or a direct message. Either of those are going to work. Twitter or X is gold. All right. Now, let's say you've got this business and you're like, Rob, that's great advice, but I don't know where the reporters are, who I should even start with. I'm trying to get on TV. Okay. This is where I always start, and this isn't rocket science, guys. I have 6 degrees. It doesn't make me smart. Now, get out a piece of paper, like graph paper, line paper, whatever, and you write down 5 stations: ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and independent. San Diego has one called KUSI. They were independent for a long time. Point is, you might have a news station that is not part of the big 4, but are still doing news stories, and they're outside of those big 4 and are still worth applying to. Now, once you have those 4, go to their station website, and there's a few things you can do. But if you're trying to just find, like, match the right reporter for a direct pitch, here's what you do. You type in the news station call letters. Okay, that's the 4-digit identifier. So like KUSI is a 4-digit identifier. And then the phrase, meet the team. This tip alone is worth at least $1,000, I promise you. Once meet the team is typed in, most stations, most websites, you're going to have an entire lineup of everybody that's on there. Reporters, producers, interns, maybe the bagel guy, who knows? But this is why it's valuable, because it's going to list out what type of reporter they are. It's going to say, hey, this is our sports reporter. Hey, this is our real estate reporter. This is our lifestyle reporter. And most of the time, it will have their direct email, and it will have their direct Twitter, and it will have their direct socials. And if you're really lucky and you click in the bio, it'll have an email going right to them. That's how you do it, guys. Now we're getting into pro PR territory, okay? So we look up the station, we Google it, and the words meet the team. Everybody pops up. You find the reporter that you want to pitch, and then now you can send your pitch. I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips for pitching, because a lot of people, 90% of people, get their pitches wrong if they write them themselves, which is why they hire me. I know what to do. A pitch should be no more than 8 sentences long. It should not ramble. We should not know your blood type, your kids' names, unless it's part of the story, or any other rambling bullshit. A pitch is straight up, hey, reaching out to suggest a story segment, ... Here we go. This is what it's about. Here's my contact info. Here's the last press release I was issued. Oh, you know a press release? Let's talk. Message me. I can issue them all day long. Here are a couple of articles I was in. Here's an interview I was in. Here are my socials. Here's a recent headshot. Thank you sincerely. Tulsa Real Estate. Jamie's Comas, whoever. That's a good pitch. Have a attention-getting headline that gets right to the point. Okay. Segment idea, colon, and then under 10 words. So pretend it's the headline of the story. That's what goes in your email headline. All right. Let's see. And if you guys are digging this, give me a heart, a like, a thumbs up emoji. Give me something if this is really resonating with you. I love teaching this stuff. This is how I got 39 people on the news. Okay. Next, let's say you're still looking for your reporter. You're not sure what to do. This is a sneaky one. If you go on a news station's website, a lot of times their stories, you can click on the story at the very top. It's called the byline. The byline is going to have the reporter that wrote it. Their name is usually a hyperlink. What's going on, Brandon? Their name's usually a hyperlink. Click on that, and now you'll usually have a way to contact them. And if they have a bio, you can find a commonality and include that in your message. And you personalize it, and you'll stand out. Hey, Lauren Finney, I also am whatever, or live in San Diego, or there's a million things. Find something in common so that you seem like more of a human being instead of like just another idiot emailing out. And that'll start the process of rapport. So clicking on articles, every person on Fox News, and this is fascinating, any story you go to on Fox News, you can click on the person's name who wrote it, and it will have their direct email. And I'm talking 90% of the time. This works out really well. I've discovered some wild stuff doing this. Okay. After that, and I have a question from the audience. James Hickey from SDNetworkingEvents.com. If you haven't checked it out, be sure and check it out. James does usually 4 events a month. They're all different themed. I've been on boats. I've been on rooftops. I've met some very successful people. James is really good at what he does. He's a spectacular human being and one of the greatest marketers in San Diego. SDNetworkingEvents.com. Get the year-round subscription to his service. It's not very much, considering the amount of contacts you're going to make. Mahir, hey, bro, do you need a video editor? Dude, I love the pitch in the middle of a broadcast. Dude, shoot your shot. I'm okay for now, but thank you. I really do appreciate the question. Dude, that made me laugh. Okay. James says, I want to get on the news. Thoughts on Harrow. Haro is help a reporter out. It's changed. It's had a different iteration since the company. I don't think it went belly up. I think they just kind of rebranded and changed for a while. I haven't had a lot of luck with Haro only because while it is a valuable service, they're looking for really obscure and really specific things, and I don't have the time to go through 60 pitches a day. And I'm sure if you pay for the service, like, it probably gets easier. I find that my results, I've never, ever gotten placement from Haro. I'm just being really honest. My results are because of the stuff I'm teaching you guys, direct pitches and establishing contact with the reporters, doing a little bit of research, and then writing a kick-ass pitch to them. That's how I've gotten the results that I have. And James, I did pitch you to Fox 5, and the next step is going to be moving it one step closer. I'm going to explain here in a minute. All right. After searching articles for names, ChatGPT, here's where it gets really interesting. ChatGPT can literally list out, I feel like I'm just giving away the farm here, and I don't give a shit. It's Friday. I'm going to hook you guys up. ChatGPT will list out every news station, every large newspaper, every reporter in your niche, every newscaster in your niche, every reporter from a major station. You just have to ask it to. And my God, when you start getting 30 names and contact info and social media links, you start to realize the power of AI. It's not going to put anybody out of business, but sure as hell is a great force multiplier. You just have to know how to ask it properly. So ChatGPT would be next for generating lists of reporters, writers, journos, podcasters, whatever. And make sure to ask it for contact info. You might get like direct emails, which is really useful, or a phone number or something. We got Lori Wagner popping on. What's going on, Lori? Great to see you. Okay. And then finally, believe it or not, at the very bottom of this list to contact reporters is where I put Facebook and Instagram. And the reason is, it's a couple of reasons. This is where the majority of their volume is. Meaning I don't want to be in an inbox with 50 other people, okay? You need to stand out. I think Twitter is a better go of it, and I'm going to teach you a violently effective trick for Twitter here in a minute. But Facebook and Instagram, if you've pitched the reporter and you haven't heard anything in a couple days, I would send a message to Facebook and Instagram over time. You just have to find one or two ways without being annoying. And if they don't get to you, they might have seen it and just not been interested. Don't get offended by it. There's a lot of rejection. It's like going to the bar trying to pick up a pretty girl. There is a lot of rejection out there, but when you do get that yes, it's amazing. All right. Now, because it's Friday, because Warrior Strategist loves you, I'm going to teach you a really, really good trick for reporters on Twitter. So I always do a two-pronged attack. Believe it or not, I actually apply my news pitches to the station first, reporter second. You guys can do this however you want. But if I apply a person, say I get a PR client and I apply them to the station and I hear nothing for like 3 days, you know what I'm going to do, Janice Marks? I'm going to go to Twitter. I'm going to look up a reporter for the station. And then I'm going to look up a post they've done. And this is why this works. I'm going to create a very short pitch. ChatGPT can do this for you about whoever it was I wanted to pitch. And I'm going to have a custom graphic. I respond to the most current post that they've done, not a repost. I mean, you can do a repost, but one of the most current ones that have gotten their feed in Twitter. And I will say something like, and I @mention them. You have to @mention them. So @mention them, little @ and then their Twitter handle, whatever, X handle. And then you say something like, hey, so-and-so, just pitched the station about a great story segment regarding, and then very, very, very short pitch because it's Twitter. Message me if interested. and then you include the photo of the person. You need to make a custom graphic because you have the reporter's attention for like 10 seconds, right? Have a custom graphic you've made in canva.com related to the pitch. So if I'm pitching my client, Brian Big Country Conwell, who is the third-ranked para-athlete, veteran para-athlete in the country, I'm going to have a big picture of Brian on Twitter with a tagline matching my pitch, because that just makes it more visually powerful, because then the reporter's looking at it like, oh, shit, this guy would make a great story. Here's why this works. Because when you @mention them, Twitter's going to notify them twice. It's going to notify them because Rob the Warrior Strategist responded to your post, okay, in their notifications, and Rob the Warrior Strategist mentioned you in a response. So now Twitter sends them 2 notifications, and they're like, and they get curious. They're like, why is this guy mentioning me? Why is this guy like putting all this stuff? And they're going to click on it. They're going to go right to your pitch, and they're going to see your graphic, and your odds of getting on TV go way, way up. Do you hear me, Andy Nelson? This is exactly how I've gotten 39 people on TV, is the follow-up on Twitter with a custom graphic and a Twitter-sized pitch that @mentions the reporter. And yes, this does sound like a lot of work. It's not. I can pitch at this point in the game, when somebody hires me, I can pitch them to all 4 stations and then 4 reporters in their niche in about 25 minutes. Successful one-on-one direct pitches. Over time, you learn this stuff. You start to learn what works. All right. Lori says, thanks for this way to pitch. Custom graphics, powerful. Yeah. The graphic needs to be simplistic. It needs to have the headline of the story kind of matching your pitch, whatever it is, and then have a picture that is powerful, thought-provoking, poignant, good fonts, easy to read. Don't overdo it. Don't make it complicated or weird. But these are some of the ways that you can get a reporter's attention, because you've got their attention for about 10 seconds. That's it. So you better be on top of your shit. Just saying. All right. Going to give my summary real quick, and then we're going to close out. Hopefully you guys have some cool weekend plans. I literally have nothing outside of running. I'm going to run, maybe cook some cool stuff, clean the studio / apartment / house that I live in. And I don't know. What's going on this weekend in San Diego? I have no clue what everyone's doing. Too busy doing PR stuff. All right. So with that, if you guys need help with your PR stuff, if you need someone to issue press releases, pitch TV, help get your story out there, reach out to Garcia Global Media. Check it out. Read a little bit more about what I do. I love helping people. I've worked at the corporate and the Hollywood level, but I tell stories, get people known. Client reviews are very, very good. And I have a lot in the portfolio to help you out, whether you need business articles, whether you need to be featured in Shift Magazine, whether you need to pitch the news, press releases, going out nationwide to hundreds of media sources, whatever you need, custom database. Let's talk. All right. Here's the summary. If you want to reach reporters, find them on Twitter, X, and pitch them. Go to the news station team page. Number 3, click a news article and look for their name, whoever the writer is or the reporter. Click on that name. It's usually a URL with contact info. Number 4, ChatGPT will get you all the reporter's information and their contact info. And finally, number 5, the last resort, like that old Papa Roach song, if you're old like me, Facebook and Instagram. Do not use them as your first. Use them as your last after you've done all this stuff. All right. That's all I got for today. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. If you have PR questions, feel free to message me. If you're on TikTok, feel free to follow me. And I will be making all kinds of lives and free videos, just helping you guys get the exposure that you deserve. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist out of San Diego. And I'll see you guys next time. As always, stay famous. Have a great weekend.